the Hat Man, the shadow figure that appears in the dream world and in the waking world. Those who have seen him think it was all a dream at first, until they start hearing of other people's accounts of seeing the same man. We are going to talk about that here today on Georvonna's Curious Mind. You are in your bed, asleep, or at least you think you are sleeping. You look in the corner, a shadow is standing there, but you cannot move. You are scared now. He wears a hat and a coat. He is pitch black, no eyes, just darkness. But he stares. He just stares. Hey guys, welcome to Georvonna's Curious Mind. If you had not already, please hit the subscribe button. So today we're talking about the Hat Man. If you hear that noise, it's my daughter. She's taking her nap. Yes, I tend to do these while she takes a nap, supposedly takes a nap. But anyway, so as I was saying, what interests me to this topic was how so many people from around the world have seen this man, or they think he's a man. So as usual, well, most case scenarios happen when they're asleep or they wake up and they see him standing in the corner. Some people think that he is just a shadow person. If you don't know what the shadow person is, I'm going to talk about the shadow people in my next video. But some people associate him with the shadow family. So other people think that whoever sees him, they're just suffering from sleep paralysis, which is something that people go through. I've been through it before. It's very terrifying. In my experience of sleep paralysis, just to talk off topic for a second, it's where you're in the middle of waking up, but yet you're still asleep kind of thing. And at the same time, when you're trying to wake up, you start feeling a presence around you and you don't know what it is. Some people actually see something. Some people don't see anything. They just know that they cannot move. And a lot of times they can't speak. I couldn't speak and I couldn't move. And a lot of people tend to panic. And eventually it just wears off and then they wake up. So that's what sleep paralysis is. Now some people associate the Hat Man with sleep paralysis. But I think it's creepy because I don't think it's sleep paralysis. I mean, if people are seeing the same person, you know, all around the world, same description, he's in like a trench coat. Let's talk about his appearances. So it's a shadowy figure that we already know. Some people say that he doesn't appear to be touching the floor. He's actually floating above the floor. So I guess he doesn't have any feet, or doesn't appear that he has feet. So he appears in what looks like a trench coat or something, a fedora hat, you know, like one of those hats that you wear like in 1930s or whatever. Other people say it's a very wide hat, wide brim hat. And as for his facial features, no one sees his facial features. For the most part, it's just all black, pitch black. You can't see nothing. It's just darkness. Now, there have been a few accounts that I read about of people actually seeing his eyes, and this is creepy. I've only heard of one account of someone saying that he has orangey, glowy eyes, but most accounts that I've read, they say his eyes are white, blue, or green. And so imagine seeing this shadowy figure and you see like white eyes, only the eyes are glowing. Yeah, that doesn't make it any better. I would freak out. So they, you know, people like, they go to sleep and then they just sense someone's there. It's kind of like sleep paralysis. It kind of reminds me of that. But except they see this person standing there with a white brim hat and a trench coat. So as I was doing my research, I started hearing things like a lot of the people that see him are mostly people who have had some trauma in their life or is going through trauma at the moment. I've heard of people who were saying that they were going, like they would see him when they were going through a divorce or something. Other people were seeing him if the household, like if the family was like a dysfunctional family. If you were in a dysfunctional family, some of the family members would see it, and if one family member saw it, it's most likely that the next family member is going to see it, and the next family member is going to see it. They're all going to see it. I don't know if that's true, but this is what I read. So it often happens to people who have had some sort of drama in their life or in their past or at the moment. I ran into this site, and I'm surprised I didn't see it last time I did my Google search, but I ran into it. I don't know if it's new or what. The person that owns the site, his name is Tim Brown, and his site is called the Hatman Project, and he says that it is the only website the only website that's devoted, sorry, I'm reading my notes and I have like this scribbly handwriting. He said it's the only website devoted to researching, collecting, and archiving into stories relating to the Hatman. And I'm assuming he made this because he's experienced it, I guess. He said the aim of his website is to explore the stories of the many sightings that have been reported. And it also has this like commentary, like people commenting on the bottom and telling their stories. So I'm just going to read one of the stories. So she did put her name on the website, but I didn't get her permission to say her name, so I'm not gonna say her name. So I was reading her story that she put of her experience, and this lady says, I'm gonna read her story right now. She says, I have seen the tall man all dressed in black. He had a cloak, which is another word for jacket, I guess, tall hat. I was very young. As I grew up, I became a nurse in a psychiatric hospital, in a psychiatric institution, excuse me. When the young children came in from attempting suicide, some would say that they had seen the same figure and described the man the exact same way as I did. It's unclear if the entity is a protector or a warning, an angel to bless or curse. Then she says, but in all of these cases and mine, I was abused as a child and did try to commit suicide. So out of all the stories that I read on there, I think that one touched me the most, and I think it's kind of sad and interesting at the same time, because before I went to that site, I did read that from many people, that the many people that he has seen were either victims of abuse or something terrible happened to them, or they're going through something in their life that's very traumatic. And I just thought I'd share that story with y'all. I thought that was pretty interesting that I read that, and then I went on the site to find out that this lady, and my daughter is just awake and she just won't go to sleep. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. I think my daughter is finally going to sleep now because she got all quiet. But anyway, so yeah, I just thought that was interesting that I read in one other place that it happens to people who had trauma, and then I read about that woman's story and how all the kids that had wanted to commit suicide or attempted, they've seen the same man. Weird. I tried getting pictures, like actual real pictures of the Hat Man, or they say it was him. There have been pictures that I've seen that show a woman. It was a picture of a woman and the shadow figures behind her, and he's pitch black and he's wearing a hat. And they said that after they took that picture of her, she died. So I couldn't find that picture, unfortunately, because that picture I had saw on another channel, on another YouTube channel, and I couldn't even find this picture. So I'm like, where is it? And because I wanted to show it to y'all. But yeah, it was a really creepy picture. So I almost didn't talk about this because I'm kind of scared now, but I just thought it was interesting to talk about. But I will in my next video talk about the shadow people, because they say he is associated. I think he's associated because he is so shadowy that they think he's part of the shadow family. And so I might as well do a video on that next time I do another Georvonna's Curious Mind. So yeah, this has been going on forever. I read that it'd been going on since the 1500s, and I'm like, I don't know about the 1500s. I don't know if that's true, because I mean, this dude is wearing a fedora hat, and I don't think they were wearing fedora hats back in the 1500s, so I kind of don't believe that this has been going on since the 1500s, of the guy wearing a fedora hat in the 1500s, but I do believe the other account that it had been going on since the 1970s. And according to the Hatman Project website, he said that it has been on the rise in the last 10 to 15 years, that it's been on the rise of people seeing this shadowy figure guy. So I wish I would have read more stories about him to share with you, but just check out his site. It's really interesting. Yeah, I'm just surprised I didn't run into the site before. I guess it's new, or maybe I didn't look right. So, like I said, he tends to manifest in, negative situations. Oh yes, that's right. Okay, so I read a story, another one, of a girl that had a basement. Speaking of basements, I don't know if anybody has read about this, but he tends to show up around basements. I don't know about attics, something about basements. I guess he likes basements. Well, there have been people reporting that if you have a basement, he likes to show up there if you're awake. I know most people run into him when they're asleep in their bed, but if, like I said in the beginning, people have seen him in the waking world and the dream world. Well, in the waking world, when you're awake, people have seen them by their basements. In fact, there was this one girl who wrote that for some reason her parents wanted her to sleep in the basement. I know that there are some people who have bedrooms in the basement, like they make the basement into the bedroom. I think it's so weird, but I've heard of that, of parents doing that. And anyway, her bedroom was in the basement, and she said that that's where she would see him. Only she's not the only one that has seen him by a basement. There have been other people, and she said that, you know, she was going through something at the time with her family, something very negative, and that's when it was happening. She said she was so afraid of the basement, and that she would literally be awake and she would see him in the, like, outside of the basement, and she would like run past him and he wouldn't do anything. He was just standing there as if he was like watching her. And so even when she went past him, he didn't do anything to her, thank goodness. I haven't really read anything of the Hat Man doing any harm other than scaring the crap out of everybody. So that's why people say they don't know what his intentions are. They don't know if is he the angel of doom? Is something bad gonna happen? Some people even thought he might be the devil, but he doesn't really say anything. I mean, I haven't read anything about him saying much or anything. Just him standing there and staring at you. And that's terrifying in itself. But imagine if this thing talked. I was like, oh my god. But, so yeah, I was just watching video. What channel was it on? It was a YouTube channel that I really started liking. It's called Frost Mare TV. I was watching a live stream. Yes, they're doing a live stream right now. I don't know if they'll still be doing live streams by the time I upload this video, but it's really cool. I don't know if they're going to show the same videos that I saw last night, but on that live stream, that's where I saw the pictures of what they think is the Hat Man, and that picture of the Hat Man standing behind the woman, and then I guess she died after that or whatever, and I don't know if she died in a car accident or what, but anyway, they don't know what the Hat Man's intentions are, or if he's an angel or what. I'm just wondering why he wears a hat. Does he just like wearing a hat? You know, I never really heard of a shadow person wearing clothes or a hat, but this is the one that everyone sees. I think I first heard about the Hat Man back, gosh, it was years ago. I used to watch Ghost Hunters. Yes, Ghost Hunters Taps. I used to watch it, not so much anymore, but I remember one of the people, one of the guys, I don't know what their names are, the guys were like, oh yeah, we had cases where the whole neighborhood was seeing the same man. It was called the Hat Man, and they never figured out, who he was, but they just thought it was weird that they were running into the same cases of people seeing the same shadowy man. So that's where I first heard about him. But I've also heard that there have been whole neighborhoods that have seen him, and it just spreads like wildfire, and people start seeing him, and I hope that's not true. So anyway, I hate to cut this short. I think this was short. I'm not sure. My next video, Georvonna's Curious Mind video, I'm going to talk about shadow people. So I probably should have talked about the shadow people first before the Hat Man, but I guess I did it backwards. Oops. So I guess I'm going to do, or you could give me ideas of what to talk about, and we could talk about it. So if you leave a comment below saying what do you want to talk about next time on Georvonna's Curious Mind, and let me know if you like this video by giving me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and please click on the bell so you could get notifications that I made another video. This is only my second paranormal video, so I hope you liked it, and I hope I see y'all guys next time.